Alright, what's up guys? It's McSpartan here. Today I want to do something a little different. It's even though I'm using tier list, it's not really a tier list because it's not really doing what a tier list does. It's more of a visual representation, an easy visual representation of uh, what God should be picking up an item that I've really fallen in love with in Season 4, which is Stone of Binding. So we're gonna go through all of them. I already organized everyone, and as you can see, they're only magical gods, and that's because of what Stone of Binding is. It has magical power, and we'll just yeah, we'll go through it real quick and do that. First off, if you don't know, I'll give you a little visual here. Stone of Binding, as you can see, it's 1700 gold, really cost efficient. 20 magical power, 30 magical protection, 30 physical protection, and then it's passive, which not everyone can use, which is what we're really going to be looking into here, is when you successfully hit an enemy god with a hard crowd control, it'll buff all your allies and you within 70 units of you, and give you 10 penetration for 5 seconds, and this is physical and magical, so it helps everyone on your team that's near you. Um, so this is a great item for just blowing people up because you hard CC them and it lets your team like commit hard on them and kill them even quicker. So yeah, this doesn't have a cooldown either, so you can refresh it with other hard CCs. So this is why we're going to talk about why some characters are better than other at applying this. And it's just a really cost-efficient item. But if you're not going to really use the passive, probably not that great to pick up and just like commit to a less cost-efficient item. So yeah, let's go through it. Um, as SmiteTierList.com works, it goes alphabetically here. So I don't really have this in a left to right order or anything of like who's better. It's just alphabetically. So first off, even though Bacchus is here, we're going to start off with Cabrakan. This is Cabrakan's item. He makes use of this way better than everyone else, and it's really good because he is really good at like single target blow up. He's really good in the jungle and solo as opposed to support because he's really good at taking one target, locking them down, and letting his team and maybe even him or just him kill them. So this is a really great item for him because he has an easy time applying it, many ways of applying it, and it plays to his playstyle the best. So he's like top tier when it comes to Stone of Binding because if you didn't know, he has 2 stuns, and I also tested it. Tremors also proc Stone of Binding. So every single ability but your ultimate ability proc Stone of Binding, as long as you get the stacks on your 2 to get the stun. So really, all your abilities will apply this. So it's just really good on him because you can just blow someone up. As I said before, it just really sits to his playstyle, and he applies on everything but his ultimate. Another person who's up here in the top tier is Bacchus because he is the second person out of 3 that can apply Stone of Binding with 3 different abilities. One of them is his ultimate though, so it's a little harder because it's not accessible as a cooldown, as your other 3. And his burp can be interrupted, and then you might not have your chug up, and then your 2 can somewhat miss. But he's still really good at this. It really fits the Bacchus' playstyle where Bacchus still wants some damage on him and some tankiness because he can do both really well based on his passive and his chug. So it still suits him even though one of his abilities is ultimate. He's one of 3 people that have 3 abilities to 3 hard CC abilities that can proc Stone of Binding. So these 2 characters probably want to pick them up. If it's non-conquest, definitely want to pick this up. Conquest, maybe not. Maybe you want to go full tank. Cabrakan in the jungle, definitely pick it up. Like this should be one of your number 1 core items. Bacchus, you don't really see in the jungle as much or anywhere else other than support, but I still think you can pick it up after like boots in the dual lane because it's a quick 1700 gold. You get 30 of each protection. It still gets you pretty tanky for like early mid game fights, and it makes you do a little bit of damage with the 20, and the penetration is great. It makes your team able to follow up even better. Alright, going on, a little bit lower, a little bit less priority with these gods, but still really good at applying them. Geb is the only other. He's the 3rd god that has 3 ways to apply it. His 1, not a very reliable one, but it can, knock people up and apply it. His 2 obviously is his go-to. That's going to be his easy go-to to, knock them up, get the Stone of Binding on your teammates, and blow them up. Also his ultimate, which is a stun. So Geb, probably not want to pick this up in Conquest. You can pick it up elsewhere, like Joust would be really good, because Joust you don't really want to build full tank. So Geb would be pretty good, obviously, because he can do 3 different ways, although you're not really going to get it on your rollout, because you really don't want to knock people away. Unless you're knocking them into your team, you're really not using the knock up. Sobek, another good user of this, he only has two ways, but they're on pluck and knock up. You're going to use them simultaneously, so refreshing it's not going to be that helpful, but if you miss pluck, you still have knock up, so he has a very easy way of applying it. And Ymir, even though Ymir only has one way of applying Stone of Binding, this is actually great for his playstyle because you want to be aggressive early to mid game, and you get it on freeze. And I've been trying this in Conquest with Ymir because it just suits his playstyle so much, even though he only has one way as compared to these people that have two and three. I have him up here because it suits his playstyle so well of just trying to blow people up early to mid game. So I've been picking it up after boots in Conquest with Ymir, and I've been having a lot of success. So yeah, these are like the main five. You really want to pick Stone of Binding up. Maybe not in Conquest, depending on if you think you really need full tank, but honestly, it can help you carry more in the support role and make it more fun because you become more aggressive after you get that done. And you're only investing, like you have Boots 1 and Watcher's Gift, so you need like 1,200 to get cooldown boots and then like another 1,700. You only need 2,900 gold into your build, and you're already super aggressive. You got like 40 power from cooldown boots, 20 power from it, and 30 of each protection, as well as 10 pen. For 2,900 gold, you get that much power: 60 power, 10 pen, and 30 of each protection and cooldown. Like it's so aggressive, and you can really start your team off to a good snowball. A plus tier, you can pick this up on these gods. Kumba, obviously, his mez is really good to apply it. He only has one way, but it's pretty easy to hit. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on banishes. I tested all the banishes. I tested Janus, Freya, and Kumba, and nothing, no Stone of Binding proc happened. So banishes don't work. I guess just because like you're really not CCing them as much as like deleting them from the game for a couple of seconds, because you can't like do anything to them. But yeah, so only works on Mez. Roots don't work either. I tested that too. But Kumba just has an easy way of applying it. Alright, probably still don't want to pick it up on him because you're really more of a Peely support, but you can apply it well if you really want to. Isis and Afro I have here, even though they're mages. Most mages are lower, even if they have multiple ways of doing it, just because you really don't want to be picking it up on mages. It doesn't give you a ton of power. But if you're going to play a more like supporty Isis mid or like a supporty Afro solo or mid, Afro it works a little better on because she's not going to really carry a game. She sticks to one person and, supports them. So her Kiss and Knockback both apply it. Not like super useful, but it can give her tankiness, early tankiness, which could help her survive fights better and keep that other person alive and let them carry. So it wouldn't be too bad to pick it up on these two, even though they're mages. Isis obviously has the silence and the stun on her Spirit Ball, so pretty useful. Two ways of applying it both, so that moves them up a little bit. Athena, easy way to proc it with her taunt, and you really want to blow them up anyways when you taunt people in. So it kind of suits her a little bit more. Fafnir, it does work on his disarm, even without Dragon Form, like his jump, and his stun, obviously. Unfortunately, I only have him here, though, even though he has two ways of proccing. He's not up here with, like, Sobek. It's just because his hammer's not super reliable. Like, they can dodge it pretty easily. And his jump's a little wonky where it has, like, the cone in front of him, which can be sometimes hard to hit. Becomes easier in Dragon Form, obviously, so I don't know, Fafnir does like being aggressive, so you can pick it up. If you really think you can hit your hammers pretty reliably, then it might be a good pickup on Fafnir. I haven't really tested it on him, but the disarm does proc it. I did test that, but I haven't tested it in like real games with Stone of Binding. So that one I'm a little less sure on, but he could be up here if you can reliably hit your stuff, or he could be down here if not. A tier, this is probably where you don't want to be picking it up anymore, but you could if you really want to, because again, it's a cost-efficient item. Sylvanas gets it on his pull, which is again unreliable, but his knockup is easily hit, so that could be pretty useful there. But again, you're relying on an ultimate ability, which is like 90 seconds, so it's not as useful when it comes to stuff like that. Raiden's actually another mage that has two ways of applying it: his jump, which is a mez, and then his ultimate, which can be a taunt or a fear. Both apply Stone of Binding. But his ultimate could be used very far away, so like if you're taunting or mezzing them, you might be getting your teammates that are near you the pen, but the opponent you're taunting or fearing might be pretty far away from the rest of your team. And Raiden's not super good right now, but it could be useful. Raiden's not terrible with some tankiness, but it really lowers his DPS where he just wants to blow someone up, with this combo. So it's only 20 magical power. I don't know. You could use it because he has two easy ways of applying it, but we'll see. Khepri, only one way of applying it as opposed to other ones, and it's only one person. But if you pull someone, you really want to blow them up anyway. So I could see it being useful. Pulling someone, giving your teammates 10 penetration, and being like, blow this target up before he gets out. It could make sense. Jingten is weird down here. He is one that has two as well, two ways of doing it well, but he's even lower because I just don't. Even though I love Jingten, his knockup could be useful for it, but his ultimate, you're really not hitting that very reliably often. They're usually beatsing it. So you're better just going off with full tank maybe, or just like some other different hybrid items if you really want some damage on him. It's just like, I don't know. Even though he has two ways of applying it, one's unreliable and the other one, even though you're knocking them up and giving yourself 10 pen, your main damage after using your two is your Furious Roar, and that's a dot, and it does percent damage, so it's really not gonna increase your damage all that much. So I don't think it's very useful because you're using your two is like your main damaging ability, other than maybe your jump. So you're using your main damage ability to give yourself 10 pen for something that just does percent damage over time. So it's just not as useful for him. Thoth can apply it pretty easily now that with his stun. Morgan has a stun, knock up stun, and stun. These are all mages that can apply it easily, but don't necessarily really want this item. Habwa maybe out of all of them, because you might need some tank on him. Maybe Habwa and Anubis. Anubis not really as reliable though with his line stun. Obviously, it might be more useful though to get some tankiness on Anubis. I think I just might move him down here actually, just because it's, I don't know. You don't really need that. You're losing damage, which you need to blow up in your combo for 10 pen when you could just get a different item and kill them faster. It's really not giving you enough. Like, the protections are nice, but I don't know. It's probably not as useful. Habwa could use the tankiness. These people apply it pretty easily. Morgan wouldn't be bad on because she doesn't really have a good escape, so maybe the protections wouldn't mind helping her, and you're using your one. You can use her combo differently. You can hit her with someone with a 2, and then you get the extra damage on your 1 when you stun them, and then give you pen. But if you buy Stone of Binding, another thing might be to just go invis, stun them. You get the extra pen, then hit them with your 2, do a little more damage, and it allows someone else on your team to follow up, and then you get the second hit on your 2 with, again, extra pen, and it allows your team to follow up as well. So maybe like a little tankier Morrigan wouldn't be bad because she has no escape, and you're stealing other people's items anyway, so your items don't matter as much when you're ulting, Alright. So this tier, these are people that can apply it with one ability, but you're probably never gonna, I'm probably gonna move Cuckoo down here. These, they have one ability that they can use to get the Stone of Binding, but you're like, there's really no reason to pick it up here. You can get away with it here, but you, again, probably don't want to use it. This is, A and up is where you could, pick it up and do something with it. Whereas down here, you're just, you're losing usefulness out of it. Rap, her ultimate, which is nice, but again, is on an ultimate, and you're really not. It's really not reliable because it's a long cooldown. Kronos, you're going to lose damage. He's already bad enough as it is right now without his Fatalis effect, and you're going to lose even more DPS, so really not that useful. Hades only applies in science. He might use it a little better. I could maybe put him up here, because you can build Hades a little more tanky. He's kind of like a bruisery mage, so it could be useful. It doesn't apply on his ult. I try that. It doesn't work on slow pulls in like Poseidon Whirlpool or Hades pull. So it only works on his silence code. So it could help you, have your 3 hit a little harder and then into your ultimate. Might be useful. I think I might move him up here. He could use it a little better because it fits his playstyle a little more. Nox applies on the silence, but you're really looking to blow people up with your 2-1 combo. If you miss your 1, you're still getting it, but again, you're missing damage. You need to blow up with the 2-1 combo. You need that damage. Nuwa, less reliable because of minion AI, but could work. She's kind of more supporty. Poseidon only really works on he has 2 ways to apply it, but not both very well. He can apply it on his ultimate, obviously, but by then you're using most of your stuff. You're using your Whirlpool's already down. You could use your 1-2 afterwards and do a little damage. Your 1 knockup will apply it too, but yeah. Xiangquei, it could be a little better because you want to build him somewhat tanky as well, but it only applies on his stun, which you have to be really close with, so I don't know if it's that useful. These are the people that have very conditional ways they can apply it, but again, you're never really going to want to pick it up on them. Ultimate ability, which isn't like super easy to get the knock up on because it's a little delayed. Appwash relies on them healing. Ares relies on his ultimate and them not to bees. Cuckoo relies on his ultimate and them getting hit by it, which is hard enough. And then Terra, her 2 isn't really reliable now when it doesn't have the slow anymore, and she's a lot worse because her healing's a lot worse, so she's not even in a good spot right now. So yeah, all she has is really her 2 because it doesn't work on roots. So the stun on her walls, which isn't, again, you're probably the only way to guarantee your 2 is to put down your monolith, dash through it, make it a root, and then you guarantee your 2. But by then all your damage is down, and then I guess you'd have to rely on your teammates to follow up. So it's just really not that great. And these people are in D tier because they have no way to apply it. Like I said, banishes don't work. Ultimate is like a banish even if you don't kill them, and again, you don't even want it. Only has a slow. Banishes don't work, and a slow. Only has a slow. Root cripples don't count. If they did, maybe Nox would be a little bit better, but root cripples don't count, and then a slow. And then Zeus, again, has nothing. So, yeah, that's a rundown. Just a little summary, what I said before. Cabrakan, definitely pick it up, because you're not playing him as support. Definitely pick him up in every game mode. Bacchus, a little bit worse. You could pick it up in... These are your 3 main that you want to pick up Stone of Binding on, even in Conquest, because they're aggressive in their nature, and they apply it very easily. But these main 5, and even these people, like I'd say A+ and up, are the main people you could buy it on, and you wouldn't hurt yourself, and it would probably help your team. Although these people are a little less useful. These are your main 5 that you want to be picking it up on, especially in other modes other than Conquest, because you want to be not full tank. But in Conquest, you can easily pick this up on them, and it helps your team out in the early and mid game fights. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Hope you guys enjoy. In the comments, or I'm probably going to upload this to subreddit, the Smite subreddit. You can put your comments, whether you agree or disagree. We can discuss it in the comments. Tell me what you think. Tell me if there's anything else you want me to do like this. I don't know if any other items I could do this with, but any ideas you think I have for future videos, feel free to give it to me. Yeah, but it's been McSpartan, and I hope you have a beautiful day.